Well, tomorrow is the best day of the year, tax day. And if you've pushed off your taxes to the last minute like me, you might be scrambling. But don't worry, you still have time. There's just not much.
Maggie Moore joins us in the studio to talk about last minute filing. Maggie, what should people do if they haven't gotten to the filing thing yet, which I don't want to talk about yet?
Well, Jeff and Kaylee, the good news is it's not too late to file, and with lots of resources available, you should be okay to file either today or tomorrow without any issues. I spoke to Derek Barnes, a tax professional with Liberty Tax, about what last-minute filers should do. Derek says that if you can't make the April 15th deadline, you should at least figure out if you're going to owe money or get money back.
If you do owe money, however, there are fees and penalties that will begin after the 15th of April. So if you do believe you're going to owe some money, I recommend making an estimated tax payment. And you can look at your last year's tax return, look at the total tax that you had on there. And as long as you paid in as much tax as you owed last year, you will not be subject to additional penalties for underestimated tax penalties.
If you do owe money, file an extension by tax day and make that estimated tax payment to avoid penalties. Derek says that while it is possible to file last minute, the best way to be prepared is to meet with a tax professional right at the end of the year.
Filing close to the deadline just doesn't give you much time to prepare for that tax payment. So that's why it's nice if I get business owners in here in January and February. I recommend that to most business owners. Come in January or February, or even do an end of year kind of meeting with your accountants. That way you can estimate, what your income's going to be that you're going to report. That's especially, important for the self-employed people out there, for gig workers, door dashers. I mean, you name it. It's important to know where you're at ahead of the time that you have to actually make that payment.
If you're worried about making that payment, Derek says there are relief plans for both federal and state taxes.
Both taxing agencies have relief and options for us as taxpayers because they want us to pay our tax. They understand that life gets crazy sometimes and our finances get really difficult. So we can actually do an income-based payment plan as well. And so a lot of people's payments are like $50 or less per month, and then they'll make additional payments on top of that as they make money and have free cash flow. So there's a lot of relief out there. The worst thing we can do is to ignore everything and not try to figure things out.
Derek says that if you have a simple tax return, you're probably okay to use a free online service like TurboTax. But if you have a more complicated tax situation like being self-employed or children, it might be a good option to meet with a tax professional to get the best return.
One thing I would say, it's not so much what people come in here thinking they can deduct, it's what they come in here not knowing they can deduct or get as a credit for their taxes.
Derek says a lot of accountants and tax professionals will make extra time for people who haven't filed yet, especially on tax day. In Idaho Falls, Maggie Moore, Local News 8.